Hi everybody, this is Mark Siegel, and in this video I am going to show you how to turn a simple Google form into a Google quiz to provide immediate feedback for your students. So the first thing you need to do is pick out a Google form that you want to work with. So I chose this very simple self-check quiz that I want to do. As we go through, I'll talk about the reasoning behind, formative quizzes versus summative quizzes, etc. for Google Forms. But this one is a formative quiz so that the students can self-check themselves and see where they are before they move on to actual graded assignments. So the only things that you can do in a Google form that turns into a quiz are multiple choice, some very simple things, short answers, I'm sorry, like one-word answers. The issue you'll run into with written responses is they have to match identically. I mean, punctuation and capitalization, etc., have to be identical, otherwise the quiz will automatically mark it wrong. And we'll talk about manual grading in a minute. So I just have a 3-question simple quiz that I want to provide feedback to the students for. So I'm going to go up to the gear that's in the up here that says the settings, and you'll see that it has general, it has presentation, and it has quizzes. So I'm going to actually click quizzes, and I'm going to click make this a quiz. So this is going to change the form slightly. It's not going to change how it looks. It's going to change what it does afterwards. So now you'll notice it says release grade. Now, if I want the students to be able to get feedback immediately and it's all multiple choice, then I'm going to click this immediately after each submission. If I turn it on manual, which is fine, I can manually email out the grades later. So this is a good time to use manual when you don't want the students to see their grades on the spot. For example, let's say you are using this as a graded quiz and you're giving this to 3 different classes during the course of the day. Well, because you can have it rotate the questions and rotate the answers, each student is basically getting a slightly different form. So, but you don't want the answers to go out before the end of the day. So what you would do is do manual review. And then when you get to the end of the day, you just have to open up the quiz and click send responses, and boom, it grades it and out the responses right there for you, and leaves everything in a spreadsheet. But I want immediate after submission right now because I want to see you. I want to show you what it looks like when the students finish the quiz and they can see their feedback. So in this, I can change how many, what of this information you can see. So you can, if you were doing this for a grade, you might only send out the point value. I want the correct answers because I want them to see and be able to adjust as they go. So now I click Save. Okay, so now I scroll down, like I said, everything looks the same, but when I go to edit the question and I click on this edit, you'll now see that answer key is one of the options. So I'm going to do 2 things. So I'm going to click answer key. Now I have to change 2 things. One is I have to give it a point value. So I'm going to make this just worth 1 point. And then I have to select an answer. So I'm going to select 82.1% as my answer. Now I can stop there and just tell the kids right or wrong, or I can provide them feedback. So if I add answer feedback, I can say, correct answer, I can give positive feedback. I go, yay. Incorrect answers might say, go back to your notes and look at the formula for percent yield to determine which number gets divided. Because that's a very common mistake. So if I know where there's common mistakes, I'm going to put that. It does not change the feedback based on the answer. So if they chose A, the correct answer is B, the same feedback will go for A, C, and D. Now I click Save. Okay, and so I can see what the feedback is going to be. I go down to my next one, and I say, okay, I'm going to choose 79.9%. Oops, I got to click answer key first. I give it 1 point and 79.9%. I'm not going to provide any feedback. And in this one, I'm going to answer key, and I'm going to change it to 1 point, and I'm going to say that is my answer key, and I'm done. It saves it automatically. So I don't have to worry about clicking a save or clicking off or anything like that. Everything's done. Now, when the students complete the quiz, it will grade it for them. So I'm going to go up and check it because you always check your quizzes before you send it out to your students. So click on the little eyeball for preview. Now you can see it's collecting my email address automatically because it's going to send me an email when I'm finished. But it's also going to show me the responses. So I've got the answer, and I've decided that, okay, I don't really know what I'm doing, so I'm going to click this. It's my answer. I'm going to click that one, and I'm going to click this one. And then I'm going to click Submit. So this is what the students will see. So I want to see View Your Score. So you can see that it says total points 2 out of 3. So I only got 2 questions right. And I can see here is the one I got the wrong answer. And when this was the correct answer, 82.1%. And look at it says, here's my feedback. Go back to your notes and look at the formula for percent yield to determine which number gets divided. So, and then I got my other 2 questions correct. So it also sent me an email. Now, since students can receive emails, they will get an email with this information as well. But just in case they close the screen, because if they close the screen, that's it. They can't go back to this quiz to look at it unless you said can submit more than one response, which on a self-check quiz, I allow my students to do that. Okay, now I want to point one other thing out to you. Now I described this a little bit more in another podcast, but I want to go to the feedback portion. So you'll notice that if I want to edit anything, I have to click this little pencil. So this is what I wrote in text, but one of the issues I run into in chemistry is sometimes it's hard to write out a text response to a mathematical answer. So there's this link button here. So what's cool about the link button is I could link this to a video, I can link this to a picture, I can link this to any number of different things. So in my case where I use a flipped classroom model, if this particular question was specific to a specific part of a video, what I might do is go to YouTube, grab the video from that point and insert the link here so that the students jump back to that exact moment where I know they probably made their mistake, and this will show them how to do that. And then I just add the link. But like I said, I show you how to add links in the other podcast, so feel free to watch that. And that's basically all you need to do. Now remember, the longer the quiz, the more responses you need to do. Oh, I'm sorry, I want to show you one other thing. So under responses, it now breaks down as scores. So it's not just going to give me their answer, it actually gives me their scores. So I can see that it says, here is the score, here's the number of respondents, 1, here's the average score, 2. Obviously, if there was more people, it would have more scores. It can tell me what frequently missed questions there are, and anything that comes up below I believe it's a 75%, it comes up as red. And then it shows me who's been emailed, when their score has been released, etc., etc. So, and you can go down and see, okay, these are the questions. This is where the students are getting this question wrong. So here's my student, me. Here's the correct answer, 82.1. Here's what I answered. So I can look at this and say, okay, look, a lot of the students are making the same mistake. Or, no, the mistakes are scattered through because they just don't understand how to do the question. So it gives you really good analysis of the questions as you go through. So it's a really useful tool to use when you're trying to modify instruction. And then if I want to see individual results, obviously I can click individual and see what each student did, but that gets a little bit more cumbersome. If I click this to manual, there would be a button here that says release responses, and I just click that and it would go and send all the emails out at one time. And that's how you're going to do the quizzes. If you have any questions, obviously feel free to shoot me an email, message me, however you want, and I'll happy to help you and run down and help you set up your quizzes.